hell is that?
Before I take any questions, y'all.
Okay.
Feels good to stretch these old bones again. Got any ideas how long I've been crammed in that vessel?
No.
Too goddamn long. That's how long.
Welcome to the Good, the Bad, and the Sequel Listen Movie Podcast, where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Really hope you enjoyed last week's interview with, for Full Moon fans, this is it, man. You're getting a peel behind the curtain. You're watching these movies all these years. Kent Rodabush. Hey, where's Cam Rodabush? I've never seen him in public. Well, it's because he's Shane Bitterling. And our pal Audio Andy connected us. It was awesome. And he got me to talk to Andy a couple nights ago. Check in, talk about what he's working on, some cool stories about Jamie Lee Curtis. I can't say anymore. Behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, Shane was awesome. Talked about his journey from Indiana to Hollywood and how he got connected with the creator of Critters, became good buddies with him, who wrote a ton of Full Moon stuff. And then he was able to, and he sadly passed, he was buddies with him so much. They were so close to each other. He could write in his voice and it worked perfect for these movies, for the audience that enjoys these movies. And it's funny, Shane said that himself. But before I talk about anything about the sequel that we're going to cover, I'm going to ask Jamie, what is the name of this movie?
You know, it's funny that you're asking me this because as you're talking, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, you know what? I don't think I've said the movie correctly at all. And even now, all I know is Slime Ball or Slime Bowl.
Oh, you didn't even get that.
It's Sorority Girls Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama.
It is Sorority Babes in the Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama 2.
I literally was thinking about that as you're speaking. I'm like, this movie, you know, I shouldn't be surprised because we watched a good movie just recently, you know, Mission Impossible. So it was only like, I don't think we've ever done back-to-back good movies.
No, we gotta set it. We gotta keep us in check. We gotta keep an average.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, every time I think we can't go low, I mean, this movie felt like I was watching a rated R play, like on stage, the way it was filmed, it looked very, very amateurish, you know. But the one thing that's funny in the beginning of the movie, as I'm watching it and listening to the music, I wrote down that it sounds very Hallmarky, and about maybe 25 minutes left in the movie, my wife walks in and she goes, "It sounds like you're watching a Hallmark movie." And like, I mean, because, and maybe it's their way of saying, all right, listen, husband's going to go sneak out. They're going to watch a movie like this, but we're going to put Hallmark music on. So the wife doesn't realize, you know, there may be some nudity or whatever going on in this movie. But they think they're watching a Hallmark movie.
They don't walk in the room and you just see, it's like really just that background music. And then like, some like really ridiculous stuff's going on the TV, and the wife just doesn't walk in. She's like, "Oh, he's watching Hallmark."
That's what the music 100% sounded like. If you maybe you didn't notice, but like if you just put on a scene of it, you'll hear Hallmark throughout. It definitely was not a Hallmark movie.
It was definitely not.
The movie was rough. I mean,
it definitely was. Like honestly, like I love bad movies. The only thing I did like about this movie was, again, I think if you take this idea, as ridiculous as it is, you give it like a legit budget, you have extras so we're not out of college, and we only see 4 people. Like the 3 guys are hanging out and spying on the babes, and there's no one around. No cars.
Okay.
Nothing is going on.
All right. First of all, okay. Everyone seemed like they were at least in their 30s, if not 40s in this movie. Okay.
Yeah.
That's first of all. Second of all, you're talking about a sorority that has only 2 people. Well, 3, because one is 95 years old that's in the sorority still there.
Kelli, yeah, she's like the house mom, which I don't know. Was that when you were in school?
No,
was that a thing? There was no. Is it just a
No.
movie thing? Because there's so
It's-
many movies that have like, oh, here's the hot woman in her 50s that used to be
Oh, what? Like, listen, you graduate college, you kind of like, I mean, you still party and hang out for a couple of years, but you're not in your 60s, 70s and still hanging out with the sorority.
God, could you imagine that? It's like,
Oh.
so you're like on the dating scene in your 50s. It's like, what do you do for a living? Oh, I'm a
Well,
real estate agent. What about you? Oh, I'm a house monitor.
Well, okay, so I'll tell you the closest thing to that is, homecoming every year at my college. All the fraternity sororities have their little section in the parking lot, kegs and all that stuff. And, we're talking about guys from 1940, that graduated are still coming out there, hanging out. Like,
That's
it's
awesome.
So that's different. That's a 1 day a year thing, but not to live in the sorority house, and again, a sorority of 2 people. Okay. And the pledging, I think, was basically like 6 minutes. And then
It was ridiculous.
and then you're a sister already. 6 minutes and you're a sister. Like it's like so stupid. And like you said, you had 3 guys that were hiding literally right outside the window
in plain sight.
In plain sight. I mean, like it was like it really felt like this movie. No one tried. Like no one.
Oh, they probably
no one
shot it so quick, but
Oh,
you're
my
right.
gosh.
It's so funny because of how quick, like Charlie, for obviously to save money on the movies, you do it as quick as possible. Like they couldn't, whoever was like the location guy, they couldn't find a tree or a bush to put them behind. They were like literally just standing there in the open.
Well, if you notice, there's like maybe 5 rooms that are used in the movie,
Yeah.
and there's very little props around, right? Like when they're all sitting around at the sorority house at one point, they're literally all squeezed on a couch. There's like nothing on the wall. There's like it's like
Yeah.
it's like really like, and it was just like it was very forced. The characters I felt like were very forced, of trying to be that trope, But again,
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
they all looked so much older than college students. And it's like, what is the plot of this movie? I mean, like, because I feel like it kind of goes off the rails at a point, like the bowling alley makes no sense. I get it. That happened in the first movie. Fine.
Yeah.
But the bowling alley's been empty for 30 years. But
Oh,
somehow
no. Wait, no. So that was going to be my question.
Okay.
Is that bowling alley in business? Because here, when they get there and the frat guys are there with them, nobody's carrying anything. And they have ice cold beer inside.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
there's money in the till.
And everything works. Yet somehow they all can get in there, right? But like, no problem. It just, and again, what's the plot of this movie? Is the movie? I mean, why do they want the trophy so bad? That's just their pledge. First of all, okay.
That's
first
all
of
it is.
all,
That's
okay,
all it is.
But she says, "Congratulations, you're part of the sorority," and then they're making a pledge after they're already part of the sorority. Like,
that's breaking the rules, right?
not breaking rules, but why would you do that after you're already in? Like the whole point of a sorority fraternity is to get in and be one of them. And so she their pledge night was basically being squirted with water guns or whatever. Like that was the only thing they did pledging wise. And then they're already in. So why are they doing something that's like if you're in a fraternity sorority and you're still pledging, that would be like something like, all right, you guys have to go to the bowling alley, sneak in and, steal this. Okay. That's a pledge night. That's, we had to when I pledged, I mean, I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but we had like a scavenger hunt stuff that we had to one of the things. Again, but half the things are impossible to get. That's the whole point because you can never, when you're in a fraternity, they don't want you to pass, right? You have to fail at your. So one of them was a Yankee Stadium seat. Impossible, So, but that's what it is. So this movie, the plot is to steal the trophy, but the trophy is just a pledging thing. There was no rhyme or reason why they wanted to steal it. They didn't know that there was anything magical about that trophy.
I know.
So what's the what? You tell me what's the plot of the movie?
Oh, the plot is as dumb as you said. It is, hey, you guys want to get in this thing. I know it's in the wrong order of operations of it, but you get this thing and then you're in. But why do they want that thing? Because even like Kelli Maroney, that's how I think it's funny sometimes they don't mention anything else. Like they could have done a line like everybody's at the football game or everybody's at something to really account for no one's on campus. But I love it. She's like, yeah, well, ever since that night, we haven't had a lot of pledges. And it's like, oh, okay. So that's why we only have 2.
Wait, not a lot of pledges. They had no pledges. They had 2 sorority sisters. They had, And again, that night happened 20 years ago, right? It happened in 1988 or something like that. Or like this movie came out in 2000.
Yeah. Almost like 35.
30.
Yeah.
Okay. So they haven't had pledges in 30 years. So
I know that made no sense either, too. When she said that line, I'm like, you're making it seem like this is right after. Because didn't you get like I feel like they were all kind of wearing retro-ish clothes, right? Because I thought it was really close after. But then I'm like, Kelli Maroney wouldn't be this age.
Okay. Right. So here's the thing. So it had a very 80s feel, the movie.
Totally. Yeah.
But right, and even look at the 2 that appeared later on, and one was in the first movie. They were old, right? So
both of them were. Brink directed this, and she was in the original, and she was Michelle Bauer. Yeah,
correct. So here's the thing: if they haven't had pledges, and these 2 girls are in college now, who pledged them?
Yeah, where are those people?
So why are they still in there? And these 2 are really 3 girls somehow. Like the other one just walked in and showed up, and she's automatically
weird,
in there.
right, dude? Weird. That made no sense, and it was so dumb because. Like, sometimes like we're watching these movies and there's a lot of foreshadowing or something that's really like, ooh, this is a secret. Like, I know there was sort of a twist with it, but it was Kelli Maroney was telling the story and she said spider. And this girl shows up wearing a friggin' like a spider web on her. And I'm like, what the hell?
So stupid. So one, again, like I said, they have the, 2 girls that are already in the fraternity, but no one pledged them. So how did they get in there? 2, you have these 3 girls, and again, one off the streets, literally the street of Hard Knocks, or
just walked in, yeah.
You just walked in, and somehow but you're telling me this is their best option? Like, they go to college, there's no other sororities there. I mean, like, I doubt this is the only sorority there. So you're like, and 2 girls are dying to get in there.
Why? I know.
Why?
That made no sense too. It would have been, it would have been really clever to have one of them have a connection or read about the imp, which
Correct.
is wow.
Oh my gosh.
I know these movies aren't great, but they do give like Ginger Dead Man had some ridiculous lines that were funny, and this guy.
Well, just his voice, just his voice alone.
Dude, it was, he sounded like a Southern preacher, like
100%. But that's the thing. If he was in the movie more,
that movie could have been an hour and 1 minute movie, folks. So he doesn't show up till like minute 36. It's crazy.
If not later. I mean, like I feel like he was only in it for like 20 minutes. Like it was like too short.
God.
But yeah. So so again, these 2 girls are excited to join this sorority, which is the lamest sorority ever. Why? And like they just like it's just weird. The whole setup is stupid. Like I said, the beginning of the movie has the aerobics, like I said, the 80s feel. So like the credits are like aerobics, 80s aerobics, Olivia Newton-John kind of beginning. Yeah. Right. So that made no sense either. It was just, again, it was an excuse just to zoom in on girls doing, aerobics.
Gross. Again, there's nobody in this movie. How about when the guys do catch them, like when they're peeping, they're getting ready. It makes no sense because it seems like they either got back or they're going to a toga party. And the best was, dude, their pictures in the mirror. I should have took a screenshot of it. There's a couple of them, but one of them is a dog wearing a shirt, like wearing a collared shirt.
See, that's probably from someone's house, and they're like, let's just bring whatever we have there, because like I said, they had very little props. So, that's probably someone's house. Listen, this movie, it's kind of jumping around. It's, again, these 2 girls. Okay. So here's something that does not make sense. And I know we're not there yet, but, obviously, in a movie like this, you're expecting nudity, which there was a little nudity here. However,
the one at the end.
Oh, okay. But the first scene that would have had nudity was blurred out.
I know.
And
But not
so,
the end. That made no
no,
sense.
that's what I'm saying. So like, I'm thinking like, all right, you know what? This is on did we watch it on Tubi? Yeah, it was on Tubi.
Tubi,
So
yeah.
maybe Tubi, blurted it out. And then 5 minutes later, the one girl pulls a Van Damme where, like every movie Van Damme, he shows his ass, but like, it's only like as he's quickly pulling up his underwear, you see his ass quickly. The same girl had like a bra on and she was like in the middle of getting dressed. And like, so when the camera went over, you saw one boob out, so why was the other part blurry? That
I
made
don't know.
no sense.
That is weird. Unless, wouldn't it be crazy if the actress had like a logo tattooed on her nipples? It was like Pepsi. Hey man, Pepsi said no, dude. Pepsi is not down for having their logo on breasts. You got to get rid of it. So they blurred it out. No,
Oh my
that's
gosh.
weird.
It
I
was
remember
weird.
when I looked up the movie, like somebody was like, make sure you don't watch the Tubi version. But it's weird that why would they have any? I wasn't expecting any.
I don't think it's a Tubi version. I think that's just part of the movie, for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, it made no sense. I mean, and again, they tried to do the Revenge of the Nerds kind of thing with the cameras in the rooms and,
Oh my God, dude. That's my next thing. How creepy are these guys? Because I totally forgot the line at the end of the movie. Like, end of the movie. It was only an hour movie. But like, when the two sorority sisters, I forget all the names of these people except Turkey. It's the only name I can honestly think of. One of the girls' names started with a D, but anyway, later in the movie, she's like, "Oh, I got the guys to rig the place with cameras everywhere." Just like how creepy it was. They had it like in the bear.
And they didn't notice that one eye is missing.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it's just so like, and again,
but getting that in there, dude, the balls, like, could you imagine, like, trying to be like, I gotta sneak a teddy bear in this house.
Wait, balls. How difficult? There's only two girls that live in a sorority house,
and the window's open.
So I mean, and it looked like a decent sized house. So like for the most part, it wasn't that challenging. I mean, like in Revenge of the Nerds, they had a whole house filled with women, and they were able to go through the attic or whatever, and sneak in there.
Oh my God, dude, you just blew my mind. That was a house, right? Did we ever see the front of it? But the back of it, when they were creeping, looked like a building.
It did look like a building because
it looked like dorms. When they the other girl yelled at her, like, "You guys need to come." Like, remember she got yelled at?
Yeah. Well, see, what was weird was when they're looking at their little tablet where it had the camera, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna get caught. Hide." But why would they think they're gonna be seen there? They just know there's a camera out there. They had no idea where the feed's coming from.
Yeah,
like they were wearing like. They were looking like they thought they were like they were acting like the girls knew exactly where these guys were, but they were on a tablet. They would have no idea where they are. And they were like, "Oh, we're getting caught." And then the second time when they do get caught, they're literally sitting right outside the window.
The window, yeah. Minutes later.
So it's very weird. This movie was 91 minutes, right?
No, 61 minutes.
Oh, so I'm sorry, 61 minutes. Oof, 91. So like, how weird is that though? 61? Like they like, isn't that kind of like an odd number for a movie like length?
Oh, but it seems like they got into that again. It's like, I don't know why does it. It's all digital now, so maybe they just be like, "Hey, people are gonna watch an hour. That's it." They shut it off at an hour, so that we're gonna make this an hour. So they think like, "I'm gonna turn this crap up." Oh, it's actually over.
Well, if they didn't do that long montage of bowling and partying, which was so ridiculous, the movie would have been like, I think 41 minutes. So, I mean,
yeah, I just couldn't get over the fact thinking, okay, is this bowling alley abandoned since all those people died there, or has it been operating? But then every time I thought, it's abandoned. Yeah, when I was like, oh, they have no security, like none of that would go off. But then I thought, oh my God, why would the bowling stuff work? And then she steals money in the register. That would have been gone.
But how big is that bowling alley? Because I think there was only one lane.
Oh no, there was only a couple. There wasn't
that many. More than one lane?
Yeah,
are you sure?
Definitely. Yeah.
You're positive?
Oh yeah,
Because it looked like there was one lane and then the bar was like right next to it.
No, they did a few scenes with them walking across in front of it. Not
Okay.
like a lot,
Alright.
but like a few
Alright.
shots.
All right.
Yeah,
Because
when
I
Kelly
could have
Maroney has
sworn
the
there was.
gun at the end, they're walking in front, and then they see the guy.
Okay.
But
All
no,
right,
it's not like
fine.
it's a monster bowling alley. But just the fact that the stuff was working,
I know.
I'm like, why?
I know. Yeah.
Oh, man. So now we so now there's like when there's quote unquote ceremonies happening. So that's what they were, I guess, getting ready for, but they were in a toga thing. But when they got there, they didn't have that. But yeah, they were having and it seems like they want to do it so bad. But remember when the girl's like, well, you better be there. We'll be there. And it was like, what the hell? You want them to join you and you're yelling at them?
Well, I mean, that is part of pledging. Like it is
But
a
they have
military.
no other options. It's not like
No,
they're whittling it down. They're whittling it down
course.
too. It's just us two still for another year.
Well, yeah, but they were so into it anyway. Like again, there's no other sororities that like, this is the best option. If this is your best option, like what? How bad are the other sororities? Like
Oh
one
my
person or none? Like just a house? Like it's ridiculous. So
We could have got that. Like those two girls try to get into another one. Again, they're like obviously portraying like beautiful like people. Those guys are all over them. So it wouldn't be as good as like Animal House at the beginning, but something like if they left a sorority. But again, they just can't have anyone else. They can only have like 6-7 people, which like makes it so difficult watching. Again, I don't know. I can't be like 100% accurate with this, but I think if there was more things in the movie, it would be like a little bit better because then it would at least feel like a movie. If you saw people,
this felt like a play. I mean, the way it was filmed, it really because again, it was like seemed like, and it was just like the acting seemed very playish, And by the way, it wasn't Spider, it was Snake, Anti-Snake.
No, she's Snake. Kelli Maroney's Snake.
Who's Spider?
Spider is her sister.
Okay.
Who was the one that died? That was Brink Stevens' character,
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
So you have a turkey, you have a spider, and a snake? These are the names of the people? Like how dumb is that? Like,
yeah.
Anti-Snake? What is that?
And the twist was that her jacket, even though her jacket had a spider on it, a spider web, and you would have thought, oh, that's, Spider's daughter, Snake's daughter. Twist.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Big twist. So, and you mentioned the shower scene before, but it looked like the camera was literally sticking out of the ceiling like you would be at a department store.
yeah.
Filming them. Yeah. Like it wasn't hidden because they kept showing you the camera, and it literally was like in the corner of the bathroom filming her.
And she's really like, it's like she's putting on a show.
Oh my God.
Her back was to the camera. She was looking at it.
Listen, I went to a 4-year college. I went to college with sororities and fraternities. Nothing like all these movies that portray fraternities and sororities are not like this at all. It's so ridiculous. Pillow fights, and all that. Like, I mean, that's the only thing this movie is missing is a pillow fight between the two girls.
Yeah.
Because they were, I mean, like the other one was helping her get dressed, while she was half naked. Like it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, dude, does that happen? Do girls really do that? Like that seems so.
Wait,
like.
Why do you need help getting dressed when you're half naked?
Yeah. Hey man, you need help with your pants? Could you imagine hey, you want to help with your socks?
Okay, and I'm willing to bet for the most part, girls don't walk around in their brown underwear, and like chatting it up.
I know it's like why,
and it happens in every single Rant and Nerds and all these movies. Animal House. There's no way like these girls. I mean, especially girls to like in the last 30 years that are modest and everything else. Like comparing themselves to other girls. They're not walking around like that. You know. But yeah, these girls are like, like it's normal.
Yeah, all two of them. Maybe it's like, hey, you know what, guys? Nobody's going to see us except those 3 creeps. That's it. But I love when she does show up, leather jacket. And do you remember what her name is?
If you give, what's the first letter?
Bitsy. Oh.
Bitsy. Okay, thanks.
Okay, give me the second letter. Great radio.
Wow, you're great at that. Thanks a lot.
Third letter.
I wouldn't have gotten it anyway.
But yeah, Bitsy was her name. But the fact that she shows up and there's nothing, no mention of it. Okay, I guess 3 pledges. It's
And
like,
does she even
what?
go to school there? Like it's so, like
we know
that's-
nothing. We got her to talk to Turkey a little bit. Again, when the movie's only an hour, there's not much exposition that you could squeeze in. But she just talked about, okay, I'm gonna tell you, I'm an orphan.
Yeah.
I don't know who my mom is or my dad is. I don't know where I'm from, but I had to come here. And I'm like, you're not even in here? You're not in the college, you just drove here, maybe?
Not at all. And is it like I don't know the other names, and now I'm curious because now you have a Bitsy, a turkey, a snake, and a spider. Like why? Like you couldn't come up with normal names at all? Like, are there any normal names?
Let's see. Sarah.
Okay. All right.
Is one of that was the girl that gets the bowling pin in her head, which we'll get to. Tiffany, Dinger. Oh, the frat guy's all funny. Dinger, Turkey, Bart.
Bart might be the worst name of all of them.
Oh my god, dude.
Have you ever met a Bart?
No.
I'm trying to think. I think I knew one Bart in my life, and I know I just don't remember where. But I think I met one Bart. That's a rough name. Like
Bart.
What do you think happened to like all these like weird names, like Gertrude, Bart? Like where? Like you don't hear about them anymore.
You don't hear about even traditional names, dude. People aren't naming their kids. I don't think there's any like Tommy that I've met. That's like
there's probably Tommy,
one.
but
There's one.
Okay, there's probably a Tommy, but spelled with like a Z in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, like the names aren't normal anymore. Like they might sound normal, but then they're always spelled so stupid.
Yeah.
Sorry if there's any Tommies with a Z.
Tommies with a Z. Turn it off. But so not all the names are crazy, just a handful. So now we have like the party was like they whipped cream them, and then they're having like pizza. It's like a pizza and whipped cream party. Like that's
which
getting
sounds
together.
extremely gross. Like
it is pretty
and
gross.
like
Those
what's
are
the point
things,
of the?
Yeah, that's gross.
Yeah, but what's the point of the whipped cream? Like I don't like it'd be different if there were guys there and stuff but like and the girls were like dancing in it like it was like the greatest thing in the world they went outside for snow for the first time and like yeah that's how they were acting, but it was like whipped cream all over you like it just didn't make any sense like
it's real sticky and not cool.
yeah okay.
Yeah, not fun. So then the jock guy, I totally forgot about this until reading the notes. Is when he goes in to get the camera to get the monkey.
Well, so like I guess like there's a hierarchy with those 3 guys because like I thought the dumb one that was wearing a tank top was like would have been the one like but he seemed to be the leader, I guess. Like who was like
the rapper?
No, he wasn't the rapper. He was the money guy.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah, he was the money guy. Oh my god, dude.
But yes, the jock guy. I guess you want to call him a jock guy. But yeah, he
Turkey.
Did they say why he's called Turkey?
No, they didn't, but that would have been good. What's his story? That was a question I wrote. Was he a good bowler and can bowl really good? And he got a bunch of turkeys?
Oh,
was it an American Pie situation?
I was thinking he liked a lot to eat turkeys. I wasn't thinking bowling, but you know what? It is a bowling movie, so was he a good bowler? Because we know the one guy lied and he was not a bowler.
Yeah, that scene made no sense.
That whole scene did not make the whole bowling. Yeah. All right, we're not there. All right, so go ahead.
So they get caught. He dives out of the window on the concrete, and like I guess he breaks the camera. But then the girls are like showering. There's like more bubbles, and it just like gets like ridiculous.
But the fact that he dove out the window like head first, like he literally dove head first out the window.
He could have died over.
Well, he should have died. I mean, you're diving head first. You're probably landing close to your head is definitely hitting the ground. He was okay.
And this is when they got caught. So this is when they were sitting right outside the window. So after this, instead of getting away, like, oh my God, guys, I can't believe we didn't get caught. I snuck into a room. And what they do is they sit outside the window because that's when the girls like get them.
Yep.
And they're gonna they are basically kidnapping them. And
but like why are they afraid? Like, all right, you got caught doing it. Okay. Like it wasn't like they were saying we're gonna tell the dean on you. Like they were like,
run. Why not run? What are you
get away?
They don't have a gun. They're outside of a window. They're not jumping out.
No, and like first of all, the girls didn't seem that concerned about what they did.
They were so hot and cold, dude. With their like representative, like
Oh, yeah.
when they get to the bowling, when they pair off, like this is like a dance or
Oh
you
my
got to choose
gosh.
a partner. They're so high and go, oh, I don't. Oh, okay, I
Yeah.
don't know.
So ridiculous. So
But yeah,
ridiculous.
so then they say to the guys, punishment by death, and the one guy goes, "Don't tell my mom; she'll kill my dead body." That was pretty funny. That was a good line.
So them getting back at them was to help the pledges for their like that makes no sense either, because if you're again, the fact that they're already sisters but they have to pledge anyway, but when you do pledging, it's for the pledges to do their thing, not to get help from outside people to help them succeed in their task. So like that was their so they got away with spying on these girls naked while they're showering, and their only punishment was to steal a trophy.
Yeah,
That doesn't seem balanced at
really
all.
just to drive him there. And
That's
it was
driving
like,
there.
yeah, that's all they were doing, driving it. But I just thought about this. So the girls, the two sorority girls, the originals, the evil one, she said, "Oh, I got the college, the frat guys to put the cameras in." So was this a setup for them to get caught to be there? The cameras are already installed, but
No, for future. Are you talking about at the end?
yeah, at the end.
Yeah, that was probably just for. Yeah, I don't.
Because she said, "Oh, I got them to set up the cameras for me because they're good with them or whatever." So then it's I was like, "Oh wait, so they knew that they were creepy and they were good with cameras."
So
I
dumb.
need a good hidden camera guy.
What?
Could you imagine
Again,
if that was your like MO? It's like, dude, you're the keg guy, you're the ice luge guy, you're the camera guy. It's like, oh,
yeah, but they weren't a good hitting camera guy because the teddy bear
they
was
were
missing. The teddy bear, I think the lens was sticking out of the eye. Like it was awful.
Yeah.
Like it did, and the girl was literally staring at the teddy bear's face because they had a close up of her face and her body. I think the lens was sticking out, and then the one in the bathroom was in the corner. Like it was so like these again. When you go to a school with only 5 people, I mean, someone you got to ask someone to do the camera stuff. So because like you said, we didn't see one other person walking around campus. We didn't see a campus.
We saw 2 like dead spirits and an imp,
which they don't explain why they were released. They didn't explain that at all.
I guess I don't remember how the movie ends because I didn't see the original one. So maybe they get trapped in to kill the imp. They don't even kill that imp. They kill his dad, which
it's so stupid. It really
they killed his dad, and then he went to intergalactic jail for 30 years.
I watch these movies and I'm like, why? Like people made money on this. Like like anyone could write a movie because this or acted one. Like it's amazing. Like more people. Like I mean, why can't we be in a movie? I mean, I bet you if we had some backing for us, we could make a better movie than this any day.
All right.
We just need
that
backing.
Shane Bitterling, but that's just funny. Shane talks about that. Like these things, he knows the formula. He knows the type of jokes that like Charlie wants. So he writes this thing, but on the other end, like he's still writing scripts and trying to get he's had things bought in like the 90s, like dramas and action films and stuff. So it is pretty interesting to be like, hey, this is what you got to do for hey, I need this script about this this creature who goes to the moon. I'm gonna write it and get it over.
I mean, be honest. You don't think that we could come up with jokes for like a stupid movie like this for this for this type of audience? I think again, it doesn't seem that. Point is, it doesn't seem that difficult, right? If you had the right, because I mean, again, the camera work, looked like it did look like a play, looked like a very low budget camera work kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, there was some special effects, if you want to call them special effects. But I mean, I think anyone can make a movie. Like it's amazing. And then, again, there's an audience for this, right? I mean, that really enjoy it. Like, when I was looking up some of the reviews, some people were like, yeah, this movie is a great sequel. Like, I mean, like, what do you like, so it's just amazing. It
Jamie's
always
going to start
me.
commenting. Have you seen Aliens and all these other sequels?
I wouldn't even lower Aliens to their level. I mean, they don't deserve to watch a movie like Aliens.
Munchie better than this?
Munchie is an Academy Award winner compared to this movie. I mean, the imp, which again his voice is funny, but like he was like a hologram. Like
he was like a green baby. He was like a green, gross looking baby.
But it was like a green screen kind of like it like they didn't even have a puppet. It was like a video of the imp. Like it was just weird. All right. Anyway,
and when we get in the bowling alley, like the one bowler, again, it was like a quick thing. It said like best bowler, like a trophy, like it was like a plaque, and it said Ricky Bobby was the name of the best bowler.
Was it really?
Like whatever prop that they left in there,
right.
Just so happened whatever bowling alley they used had that in there. But
dude,
the girls are so excited for this place. And then, like I mentioned earlier, they broke off into pairs. Turkey is with Spider, and she is like obviously like so rough with her. But again, I kind of liked her character because she reminded me of the Saved by the Bell, the girl with the leather jacket on Saved by the Bell. She was like really like tough. Everything she said, she was like tough. Looked like she was gonna punch that guy.
She was like Joe from Facts of Life.
Yeah,
she was just
Joe from Facts of Life.
I mean, like well. They had to show her skill. I mean, when they first got there, the two sorority sisters were, shocked that the bowling alley was locked. So of course, the badass has to go there and pick the lock. Like, is it that easy to pick a lock? Like, because again, that's the trope. If you're wearing a leather jacket and you're the badass, you know how to pick locks and start cars without keys, and like you can do all these things. You could pick the combination, like, you could. So if you're a badass, you pretty much have every skill to break the law. You just need a leather jacket.
It's like, see, it's like almost like The Man Who Knew Too Little. You have somebody just wear a leather jacket, or they're wearing it for a friend, and they get like, oh, come on, man, I need your help with, and then it's like some serious action scene moment, like, you gotta kick that guy's ass. It's like, whoa, I don't want any part of that.
Why are you assuming I could do that? Because I'm wearing a leather jacket? Like,
yeah. Oh man. So then the tie dye guy has a good pickup line. Want to knock some dust off my balls?
Oh my gosh. First of all, if that's his pickup line, that he has dust on his balls, like that's one. I mean, that means he doesn't get girls too often because there's,
dust shower.
There, and he doesn't shower. So like, is that really like? I mean, I don't know. Does it sound like that's a great pickup line for someone to use?
She kind of liked it. And then, what's weird about like when the wish thing came up, she was kind of into him. It should have been like they weren't into each other. Like they were kind of like hitting it off. So it made no sense when the imp came and asked for the wishes, which we'll get to in a little bit.
Yeah, but the girls were very ditzy and they seemed very horny. So like, I don't think it mattered who like she was with. I think she would have been into them regardless. She was all excited like boys are going tonight. Like like except for the the badass. So like I don't think it makes a difference. I think they were just again they were just typical. This is like Grease 2. Like they had a whole montage of like Grease 2 here. The bowl tonight.
Yeah, no, when again it's like the way it was edited, but she pretended that she didn't know how to bowl. We already saw in the montage her bowling, and then all she was doing like was the between the legs. It was probably a different angle of what we saw there to be able to save on shots. But when she like is like a professional bowler against the strike, that's pretty funny.
So ridiculous. So all right. So in your opinion, and we've discussed this, but your opinion, do you think it's a real bowling alley or it's been abandoned?
Here's my next thing. Why I think it's abandoned, because she throws a ball down the lane, gets a strike, and then no ball comes back. She goes to grab a new ball.
Okay. And I'm thinking abandoned also because she was it her or the guy that walks over to the counter and there was a slice of pizza there that looked like it was sitting there and Just took a bite out of it.
Oh my God.
You didn't. Okay, I wrote that down. There was a piece. There was literally sitting on the counter. He walks. I don't know who did it. I don't know if it was him or her.
Or a homeless guy's in there. Or somebody just hanging out in there. So it can't be.
But literally they clearly didn't order the pizza. They broke into the bowling alley because it was locked. So he grabbed the pizza that was sitting there on top of the counter and ate it.
That's insane.
Okay. And
was that turkey? Okay. Was that turkey?
I don't know. No, I don't think it was. I don't remember who. It was just, again, I don't know if it was a girl or a guy. But how about when they were stealing the money out of their cash register? The money looked like it was Monopoly money.
Oh, I know, dude. When she was leaving, she was like...
Yeah, it was not real money. It was totally fake money. Like, it was Monopoly money. That they threw it in there.
Do you think the one that came out of his butt later was
that
Monopoly
looked more
money?
Real? Hold on. That money looked more real than the money out of the cash register.
Do you think that was real money, or was it like... Had
dirty
like
money?
Some cartoonish.
You think it was dirty money?
It had to be dirty money after that. They should have shown that. That would have been obviously been a little bit of gross. That it was like actually coming out of his butt.
I don't know what the budget is for this movie, but I think that would be a little challenging based on the budget for the movie.
Yeah.
But I mean, they did have it flying out, so I think they did a good job for what they were doing.
They had somebody standing next to him near his butt cheek and holding one of those guns that shoots money,
or one of those like I look like it was one of those cards, like when those card machines that shoot out the cards, yeah, that's what it was. But yeah. It's so ridiculous.
Oh my God, dude. So so now they're like, so we have.
Did you notice the name of the bowling alley, by the way?
Oh no, I didn't.
It was Dickie Lanes.
Oh, now that you say that, yeah, Dickie Lanes. I wonder if that was the name, or if that was like a prop sign they put up. But yeah, probably not. I would say they just randomly was like, hey, is your bowling alley? Can we use it? Really? Okay. They said, yeah.
First of all, it was probably a bowling alley. One of my holiday parties, one of my old jobs, is we had a bowling night with food, and the bowling alley. I forget where town it was in New Jersey, but it was behind a bar. So it was like an old school. Like when I say like the bar, you walk in, there's a door at the end, like behind the bar, and then it's a little like 4-lane bowling alley. Like it was cool. Like old school, like where probably like back in the day, the mafia probably met, and like all these gangsters, and it literally was a small. So it was probably a bowling alley like that, because it looked like a very small bowling alley.
There was one in Clark. My dad used to take.
Then maybe
Clark.
You know what? I worked in Cranford.
I think that one had like 8. It had like 8 lanes, and you used to keep your own score on paper. They didn't have digital.
Maybe it was Clark. I mean, like I said, I worked in Cranford, so
okay.
So I mean, listen, how many bowling alleys are like
lanes? That? It was cool because you wouldn't even imagine a bowling alley could be in there because it was.
That's
so
what I'm
small.
saying. I was shocked when I walked in there. So maybe, okay, it definitely wasn't 8 lanes though. I'll tell you that much. If it's in Clark,
there would be a league there, so it was definitely. I don't know.
Well,
I remember being
a league. What with 7 people? Teams. I mean, like, if it's got to be the same place. It wasn't 8 lanes. I'm just going to tell you right now.
Okay. I would love to have a bowling alley. Like, I would think that would be obviously it's a lot of space, but if I had infinite space and I could choose, that'd be a lot of fun. Like to have that, like pool table.
It would.
Okay. Bowling alley.
But cool. But you have it in your basement. How loud it's going to be. I mean, it's like
the soundproof it. I'm super rich at this point.
Oh, okay, clearly
soundproof it.
So then why would you even have it in the house? You might as well just build your own bowling alley in your backyard.
You're right. Just one lane, one lane covered in a roof with maybe like not that like barely enough space to walk along it, so it's awkward for people. That'd be funny.
Well, what they should sell, like maybe if they sell it at Walmart, is like, how they have these things that have like multiple tables kind of thing where like, it turns into so make it a shuffleboard bowling alley, horseshoe thing, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. There we go.
But bowling alley would be good. Let's get it on the market. Shark Tank. Did you ever want to bowl and do 3 other things we can do it for you. Okay. So now we get the first couple, they're kissing. He like forcefully kissed her. It's like really weird. Then on the other side, you have the 2 that are like hot and cold, like flirting back and forth. And then what he does is he does like the old school, but I didn't know that a bowling ball cleaner machine had the same effect of like the dryer in movies, and throws her up on it, and she's like all into it.
But isn't it like water shooting up and stuff? Like
I don't know.
Isn't it's just,
I think you put the ball like in the door, and then you
it sits on
close
top.
it.
I think it sits on top and rotates. You know, like kind of.
Sure, but well, then maybe that's why.
But it's like, isn't it like a bidet? Like it's got to be water or something cleaning it. So it's got to be like a bidet. So she was just getting excited. Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Is he the one with the dusty balls? He should have sat up there.
No, that's not Dusty Balls.
Oh, okay.
It was the other. Yeah,
Okay.
the one guy. Now
right.
we don't. I don't remember who he is. Oh, the rapper.
Okay.
The rapper. That's who that was.
All right.
So now the sorority sisters are there. They sneak in and they're watching them hook up. So they're looking at these cameras, like peeping on them.
Do bowling alleys have cameras?
Well, no, the college guys put them in there. That's what I mean. And was it a setup? Like, did they tell them to get caught by the girls, so then you have to drive them and you're there to make sure the cameras work? I don't know.
I got you.
Just so weird. Like,
yeah, that is weird.
That put together. Not like, oh, we went there last night. We put cameras in there. No, it was just,
so
the college guys did that.
Maybe that's a trade-off. Like, all right, listen, you help us set up here. You could put 2 cameras in their bedroom, and that, that's like the payoff.
We'll give you 5 cameras. 3 are for this operation, the ball. 2,
put wherever you want to put them.
We don't know. Yeah. We don't know where you put them.
Okay.
Oh my God, dude. But yeah, so then they're watching. It's so creepy. And then Kelli Maroney in Snake, she sees the flyer for the bowling alley, which is weird that they've had flyers.
Yeah.
For a 5-person, well, not even a planned thing. So I don't know what that was. Maybe it was just advertised. It made no sense.
It made no sense.
That made her go, "Oh man, they're there." So then she storms down to the bowling alley,
and then again, the fact that she's living there is it makes no sense. So then you have Turkey finds that. How'd they know what trophy it was?
He just said this thing looks old.
Because there were multiple trophies there. So
there was. I don't know how he chose that one.
Okay. And then let's be honest. We have a girl fight. There's no way. Huh?
Why are they fighting over the trophy? I don't understand.
That made no sense, but this girl's supposed to be the badass, and it was a pretty even fight.
Yeah.
Like there was I would have thought she's supposed to be the tough one, but literally she wasn't tough at all. I think the other girl had the upper hand. Like they were rolling around the ground. Like it wasn't yeah. I was a little surprised.
Then what it leads to. There it is, our pal, the imp.
Free at last. Something almighty, I'm free at last. Ha ha.
Free at last.
The hell is that?
Hold it. Before I take any questions, y'all.
Okay. Is this here? No idea. Didn't you set this up?
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, the one girl so done that she goes, "Did you set this up?" It's a creature.
Idea how long I've been crammed in that vessel?
No.
Too goddamn long. That's how long.
He looks like the guy from Who's the Boss. Not Who's the Boss. Charles's Chart.
The friend. The friend. Yeah,
he looked like the friend.
What's his name? Yeah, he was on what was that? The Surreal Life, right?
He was in a lot of 80s movies.
Ames.
Yep. He was. I think he was in
Ames?
Zapped. The movie Zapped.
He was.
Yeah. He was in a lot of those movies. But like that imp, like what do you think is is worse, that or Munchie?
Oh, the way that
yeah.
Oh, I think that's worse because at least Munchie, even though he's barely moving his extremities and his fingers and his mouth, he looks. I don't know. They're both pretty bad, but I like Munchie.
The bad. Like this one, it literally looks like just like a styrofoam puppet. Like it just oh yeah, I know. It's. I honestly would have preferred, I think, like a cartoon version of an imp. I think that would have been.
Oh, like a cartoon thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Or something. I don't know. I just feel like that, it looks so cheesy. It's ridiculous. And the voice does not fit it at all. At all.
It's weird that he was like a Southern preacher.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. though.
Yeah.
It's like, oh
So
man,
it did
whatever.
not fit his look. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. And then we see Brink Stevens and Michelle Bauer, and they're like in a green bubble. That's kind of
So-
what they are in the whole thing.
But so they were in the trophy with the imp?
Yeah, I don't know how. Yeah, that doesn't
That
make
made
any
no
sense,
sense.
because the imp's father was the one from the original that was
Correct.
killed by Brink Stevens.
So they don't explain why the imp's in there in the first place.
No.
And they don't explain why those two are in there, but they're dead because no one sees them. So why are they in there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Their souls are stuck in a bowling trophy
Okay.
for the rest of their lives.
So stupid. Okay. and okay. So why are they hanging around if they were stuck into in the trophy for 35, 40 years? They're finally out. Why are they standing around there? Why
They're helping their sisters.
Oh my gosh.
They
Did
gotta
they help?
their sisters.
Oh, they help at the end. At the end,
They did. Oh
Yeah.
my god, that was the best. That really was amazing. That was so ridiculous. So now we get so the imp starts giving out the wishes. This is when he like, are you like a genie? And he's like, yeah. The first one was he wants to be a rapper. And then he makes him like, he kind of like glows red for a second, and then he's gone. We don't see him for another 5 minutes. Again, at this point, we're like 36, 40 minutes into the movie. So it's only like 20 minutes to like shoehorn in all these people asking for wishes in a different way.
And, well, like, so I didn't know what to expect until you saw the first one. Then I'm like, all right, I know where this is going. Like, so every wish that you like, I mean, like you could call you could call it, when the guy wants the money, I knew, the way he said it, and the girl, you knew what was coming up on all of them. Was the imp in the first movie though? Or you said his father, like, so the character was in the first one?
His father,
Did he look the same?
I'm sure he did. Maybe.
Oh, you don't know. That's okay.
Maybe he had a mustache. To show he was older.
It would be great if he had like the Groucho Marx like glasses and nose thing. That
would be funny.
plastic.
That'd be definitely a Ghoulies thing. Like, if they made another, well, they did make another Ghoulies, but in the vein of Ghoulies go to college with them talking, I can see them doing that.
Oh, he's first of all, he's totally a ghoulie. Like he could fit in with them. Like if he was in that movie, you would think he's a ghoulie.
Yeah.
So now again, I know we talked about goblins, ghoulies, and trolls. Where are imps and hobgoblins?
Imps
where are
gotta be
imps
in
in
there.
this?
Imps,
Like, are they
imps
like
in it.
he looks like he could be like the love child of a troll and a ghoulie.
A troll and a goog? Yeah. I want a shirt now of all of those creatures.
Of all
one of each,
You can make it happen. And so is Munchie in that group? Because what is
he's
the
gotta
Munchie?
be. And
Okay.
Munchies and the original Munchies.
Yeah.
You'd have them in there too. You'd have Gremlins.
Oh, you have to make a shirt. You can do
Mogwai.
it. You got to make a shirt. That's a
Yeah, I'd
That's a
have to
shirt.
think of all of them to make sure I have them all like in line with each other. Yeah, that'd be good.
okay.
But yeah, no, the imp, and then the second is the girl that was like kind of into the guy. It seemed because they were the ones that were making out.
Yeah, but
bowling?
she left him in 2 seconds when she got her
No,
wish.
no, that's what I mean. No, she did. Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
She's like, she's over him right away, and then it's like, oh, what's your thing? A perfect man. And the imp puts it behind the door labeled danger. Is there a door labeled danger at a bowling alley? I hope not.
Well, I wonder what the imp would have done if she left it as perfect man and not say, I want to be one with the man.
Yeah.
Like, because I mean, like, could I wonder how the imp would have spun that one?
Handle
she
that,
had to throw,
yeah.
but she had to throw in, I want to be one with I want, what did he say? What she say? I want us to be one.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
It's so
along
weird.
those lines. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Then Turkey skips over his wish. Leather jacket was really thinking about it. She was like, oof, I don't know. And then tall guy jumps in, and then that's when he says, I want cash, right? Didn't it say lots of cash?
Lots
not
of cash.
Not like a definitive thing like, oh, I want this. It was like just very vague. Just lots of cash.
Well, not even like I want $1 million. Like, so
That's
like
what I mean.
so what's lots of cash?
Could be a ton of pennies.
I think 105s is a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Which,
Here you go,
so
buddy.
like, yeah.
Bad wish. Bad one.
But did he say I want cash coming out of my ass?
Oh man, you know what? Maybe I don't know.
I'm trying to think. How did he get? It had to be something with his. I'm gonna say I want money coming. Maybe he said I want money coming out of my ass.
Wow. You know what?
Because
He probably did.
He did probably because that's the only reason why money came out of his ass.
Yeah.
Which I as bad as the movie is, that's a pretty funny gag. I mean, even though you could kind of call it the minute he said it, however he worded it, you knew that was gonna happen. But that is a pretty funny gag. I mean, so based on that, is it just constantly running?
The money coming out of his ass? Oh, dude,
yeah. So even when he's dead, though, like, is it still coming out?
Oh, I guess it has to run.
Like, is it like a fountain? Is it like a fountain? Like, so, like, if you leave him at someone's house, family members can claim the body and just have money constantly coming out of his ass. Like,
you have them waiting like outside of a government building. People wait in line. They swipe their card. It's like a bank uses that.
Okay.
Oh man, dude. So, but now we get the first like payoff because all the other things just started. Like she saw her perfect man. He wants the cash and he sees the 2 money sacks and you think like, oh, okay. But this is when the guy comes back. He's like, yo, I'm not a famous rapper. And then he turns into a peanut candy bar called Nut Buster.
So was he just the rapper or was he like the candy bar also?
It seems like he's the Nut Buster the way he was eating. So yeah.
Okay. So everybody can eat him. Wait, I don't remember that. The imp ate him?
Yeah, somehow he got really small out of nowhere. He was really big right next to him, and then he got close to the imp, and the imp grabbed him like a little bar.
Oh, I don't remember. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he took a bite of him. Yeah, and people like
panic,
right,
but
not like they really should have.
Yeah, I was saying like
been freaking out
100%. And at that point, so were the other 2 wishes already done, or? I think
the perfect man was still like that didn't hit yet, but at this point
but she asked for it, right? I mean, I'm saying like so they all already asked for the wishes. Like, did anyone ask for a wish after they saw what happened to the rapper?
Not anybody in that room, no.
Okay.
Oh no, well the other girls were watching on the camera, so they didn't really ask. The only reason the girl asked because she felt like she had to, which I don't know why. I'm not saying the imp couldn't have heard her, but what if she just said nothing? It worked with the other girl. It worked with, Bitsy. She didn't say anything. But how about when the guy was like, hey, man, this isn't all the cash. Maybe that's when he said that line. But then I love the imp's line. How's that for lifestyle on the rich and fame ass?
He had those like munchy like one-liners.
Yeah,
like
Ginger Dead Man. Yeah, Jack Frost. Yep. Like those kind of just like, again, not like funny. Like, honestly, it's like, I don't know if they would work in like a bigger budget type movie to have that kind of silly voice, but like,
no, but
it makes it enjoyable.
Listen, I don't think this movie, really could improve, but if you had more imp and less of the other characters,
more imp.
I think at least, again, like Munchie, like, listen, Munchie's rough to watch. But I mean, you're gonna laugh at some of the scenes because it's just so dumb, But Dom DeLuise, is good. I think the same thing with this imp. If you had a couple more scenes with the imp and less bowling, with montage, I think the movie could have been a little bit more bearable. I don't want to say good. I want to say more bearable.
More bearable, yeah. So now this is when the girl and the guy. It was like a really bad version of like a Fabio, the way the guy was the perfect man, and they're like hooking up and they're like in love and I want to be with you, intertwine with you or something. And then the next time we cut back, we get like this hideous creature that's naked.
Well, first of all, where'd that room come from?
The imp changed the danger room that must have had like
but that wasn't part of the wish
into a bedroom. He wanted to set it up. The imp was like,
oh
hey,
my gosh.
I'm going to make you feel like this is too good to be true, because it is. You're about to join together with a man.
And why was it naked, the thing?
And why was it only the face got deformed? Everything else was still female. Unless there was an elephant trunk hanging between the legs. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you would think it would have to.
It's only fair, right?
That's
it's only fair.
Oh my gosh. It was pretty hideous though. But
Dude, very.
okay, but it also doesn't explain why it, because the mind should have still been there. Like, why did her mind become like? Why'd she become like a monster? Like, like acting like
Because they joined.
Yeah, but her mind should have still been there as them together. Like
Yeah,
I would.
probably mind gets all whacked out of you, but two brains together and can join them. They're gonna maybe some kind of brain damage because the way she's like snarling and making all these sounds.
Well, she wasn't
"Who is
human
that?"
anymore. I
They
mean,
slammed the door behind, like, oh my god.
Okay. All right.
Dude, the others, and then the sisters that were watching on the camera, they show up. And I love the girl says, "I wish you would leave me alone." And so he blasts her to outer space. That was a lazy one. That was real lazy. Like, she could have said a million things that could have. No, let's send her to outer space. Let's send her in front of a green screen and spin her around a little bit.
That was a lazy one. That was
like just so quick. But it was like this one I wrote, and we already kind of talked about it. But it's like the leprechaun. Like, it definitely remember the gag in the second one. It's been in other ones, but when one of the guys says, "I want all your gold," and he's like, "I'll give it to you," and then he puts it in the stomach, and the guy dies. Like, so stupid. But that's what this movie was doing. But dude, I love the girl. She was probably the best one, I think. The girl who was like the brunette sorority sister who was already in it.
The one that was leading everything?
The one, the one that had the bowling pin
yeah.
in her head. Like, she was pretty, even in this scene, it was kind of funny when she was like trying to figure out what I'm not going to say this wish, but if I were to say, he's like, you're right. You're on to me.
Why didn't she just wish for the door to be unlocked? Because they couldn't leave, right? The door is locked.
She said why? She said that.
She did?
Because if I wish for the door to be unlocked, it would be unlocked and hit me, right? Wasn't it that?
Oh, okay. Well,
I wish for the door to open. I wish for the door to open. Then you'd have the door come and smash against the wall and kill me. He's like,
the imp was like, maybe. He never gave her a different answer. He's like, possibly. He was,
so silly, dude. But yeah, so then her thing was, and then she was like, oh, man, this day feels like forever or something. And it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna live forever. And I'm like, wow, what kind of punishment is this? Because she's acting kind of normal until, meanwhile, at the same time, over near like a snack stand, the Bitsy is grabbing like broom handles and bowling pins and swinging them, and it sounds like swords.
I was gonna say the sound effects for that were so ridiculous. Well, okay, so I think I got them confused. Clearly, the monster was acting like a monster but why was the one that was living forever acting like why was she going crazy?
She only became that after she got the bowling pin in her head. Before that, she was fine. She was just walking up to say, "Hey guys."
Oh, okay.
And she got the bowling pin to your head. But maybe the live forever was like, oh, you're gonna be a zombie because.
But why'd she get the bowling? No, she was acting before that. Because why'd she get the bowling pin to the head?
She startled them. They thought it was the imp, which makes no sense. The imp is the little thing on the ground.
Okay. Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was like, oh my God. Like, they were going nuts. Like, oh my God, I can't believe you just did that.
Okay. So
but then when she got up is when they ran around.
So how hard do you have to swing a bowling pin?
Oh, impossible.
To make it so hard that it gets stuck in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
lodged into the head, not moving.
I mean, okay. Like, it literally looked like her head was made of like Jello, and like and it basically smashed her head in. Like, I could see that happening to the girl that became the guy, the monster, because they maybe they have soft tissue, but like it should have been sitting in her head like that.
Yeah, perfectly. That she's able to bounce into things, hit her head on the walls, doesn't fall out. But now she wants she's
doesn't
like
she pee?
Blood
who was
hungry.
peeing? Wait, who was peeing? Was it her that was peeing?
The only blonde. No, she wasn't. No, she was peeing, and the girl with the bowling pin was trying to get in there, and it was freaking her out. And she said, she didn't say, oh, well, yes, I think she did. She said, I wish I can get away. And then she gets flushed down the toilet to death.
Yeah, but
then she's gone.
Okay, but after with all this going on, you're gonna have time to sit down and pee? Like,
well, no, she was hiding at first.
But she was peeing. I thought she was peeing. Go, she pulled her underwear down. I think she was peeing.
She did. Yeah, how do you do that?
So. Yeah, no fear. Like you have time to like pee in your pants. Like you're not gonna sit in one spot. Like, I would think that sitting in a stall you're probably at the most vulnerable spot
Oh,
anywhere. Like that's the most. So like, why would you put yourself in that situation?
Yeah. You're in an extremely tiny room, and then they could just stand there, and you have to eventually come out. There's going to be a time that you're going to need to come out, or it's too easy for them to come in and get you. So, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, my God, dude. But she gets sucked into the toilet. And then now we have like, it's another funny kind of line, because as a kid, you thought that like the woman's room and the girls' room was like this mysterious place that was so much nicer, and it was like just something that got passed around generation to generation. And when Turkey goes, "Can I?" This is like after their friend's dead. Like they know that she's not there anymore. Well, I guess they're not really friends. Like Bitsy never met her, and Turkey met. I guess he has to know her because there's only 5 people in the whole thing.
I was going to say, like, they almost acted like they didn't even know who the guys were.
They didn't. They were getting that, dude. They were creepers. That it would be creepy enough if they knew them, but if they knew them, then maybe you consider it flirting, I guess.
Right.
But this is like they don't even know them, and they're getting to know each other at the bowling alley. Oh, did you ever bowl before? You would like. Yeah, I'm not saying that would be top conversation the first time you hang out, but maybe like that somehow gets brought up. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Turkey wants to take a peep in the women's room, and he's like, all right, cool. Pops his head out. And then they're trying to run away. They stop to get some poop money, because she's stealing everything, grabs the poop money, and the half man woman creature, they open the door on that. And which I don't know why she would, because she already knows what's in there, right?
Correct.
Oh, no, she didn't see it firsthand. The other blonde told her. The blonde that got flushed.
Oh, she told her what? Oh, yeah, that's right.
So they don't know exactly what she looks like.
Yeah. You're right.
So that's why they were like probably super freaked out. But
right.
It was nuts looking. Like,
well, again, you can describe it, but without seeing it, it's a whole different story.
It's a face on a face. It's like you put a mask on someone else's face. That's what made it look scary. Like if there was a way they could have split it, like female one side, guy mustache on the other side, that would have been like, okay, I get this. But this looked like somebody was wearing somebody's face.
See, I'm surprised that they didn't have like, because of the way the budget is, literally have something like that, have like, half like of her face and have a half mustache on the other side, or like something like, like that. Because you could do that easily, I'm surprised, but they kind of went out on this one.
Yeah.
With the special effects.
And so Leather Jacket, again, somehow she shoehorns in her origin story about like, oh, I don't know where I came from, blah, blah, blah. And it's like so quick. And then it's like, oh no, the creature that's chasing them is back again. Like, why would they not think that? And then we see its head get blown off. Kelli Maroney, anti-snake, saves the day.
How'd she get in? Because the door is locked.
Oh, they locked it? Oh yeah.
They couldn't leave.
I guess they all were. Yeah, you're right. How did she get in?
That's to say, they couldn't leave. So how'd she get in there?
She was there the whole time. She snuck in.
And she just happened to have a gun with her, like at a college
big
campus.
Shotgun.
That's a big shotgun, right?
Yeah, for a bunch of drunk kids. That's safe.
That's,
let's have a old timey shotgun too.
And I mean, the way she was in this movie, that she was hooking up with all these young guys at all the parties, like like
100%.
ridiculous.
Kelli Maroney, man, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Night of the Comet, the best.
Night of the Comet.
Night of the Comet, the zombie movie. It's her and dude, you'd love it. It's very it's her and the love interest from Weekend at Bernie's.
Oh,
she's also in like Flight of the Navigator. Like her.
I never saw that either. It's on my bucket list. I never saw that one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's a Disney movie, right? I think.
Oh, am I thinking of the wrong movie? It's probably
Flight
not
Navigator, I think.
No, by the way, that's right. But the girl.
By the way, you said you were looking a little teen wolfish. You're looking like the father.
Oh,
you got glasses,
he's the bear.
Because you have the gray. Yeah, she's a bear. Yeah, that might be one of the funniest scenes
in the movie. Oh yeah, dude.
When he sees it for the first time.
Yeah, he looks like a Muppet.
He does. He really does. Oh man.
But yeah, that movie, like, there's a bunch of people in it. Like, just like Michael Bowen's in it, like a bunch of character actors from that time. But yeah, Night of the Comet, if you haven't seen it, pretty cool. Cannibal zombies.
I'll add it.
Good, like,
nice.
Quite a cheesy fight scenes. And it's 2 women as the ones fighting all these zombies. And they're cool together, like they're sisters. It's a really cool, cool plot. But yeah, she shows up. She has the gun. Something like, hey, how does she get in? She kills that man woman thing, and then now they're getting ready. Like, oh, guys, we gotta get out of here. And the imp when he reveals his origin story to us, like, hey, you're the one that your sister, and I think he even says the name, right? Or does he say Spider?
I don't know. I mean, like,
maybe it's just your sister, and he's saying it in general, like sorority.
I think it was very general.
Your sister killed my dad.
But I still I find that bizarre that Snake and your children's names are Snake and Spider.
Well, the parents were probably like,
I mean, like
biker, Hell's Angels.
But how weird is that? That's just so stupid. Like, why? Like, what's the gag? Like, what's the gag for that? Like, it's.
What if they did it for the first two kids? Then they leave the biker community. They're like, we got to clean up. And it's like, hey, so your kids. Oh, this is Spider, Snake, and Nathan.
And Sarah.
Sarah. Oh, my God. That'd be funny. Sorry, we can't. It's too expensive to change the name of the birth certificate. You're going to live with that for the rest of your life. But, dude, I love when, so Bitsy, like, they're running from the imp, and she grabs, like, alcohol. She grabs a bottle that's like, we have one here because I've always wanted one. I just always think in movies, like when people are like the rich guys, they're always pouring out of like that glass, crystal. Yep. Especially I always think of Batman, the original Batman, Joker, when what's his name? The guy with the real raspy voice from City Slickers. He is like filling what's his name? His alcohol.
Colbert? James Colbert? No, it's not James Colbert, is it?
No.
Oh, Jack Palance?
Jack Palance, yeah. So, yeah. But I just always think of that. But she's like drinking out of that, running. I'm thinking, okay, she's gonna use that. I totally forgot about the whole gag of like, hey, we got to get them back into a container. But she was just like drinking it.
Why? Like, I mean, like it made no sense. And yeah, and again, like they don't even explain why he goes into container. Like what? Like,
well, no, it's like you say their real name. Oh, what's your name? Beelzebub.
Okay, but why? Again, why did they think that was gonna work? Like, you know, like this is not Beetlejuice, right? Like it was like such a Beetlejuice kind of thing.
What do you mean? Why do they think it would work? They just needed to get his real name, and then once they say his real name,
but how'd they know that? They didn't know that.
They didn't. What do you mean? The sisters bring Stevens.
No,
they told him.
They wrote it down later on, but they said that, you know, maybe if we say his real name, he goes back in the bottle.
Yeah. But that's what started the gag. They were trying to guess. I know.
I'm saying, why did they think that was going to work? That was the first thing. I was saying that was the first thing that they thought of right away. Like, oh well, maybe if we say his name, he'll go right away. Why would you think that? Like, there's no reason to think that is going to work. Like, it would have been funny if like they finally said his name and like, yeah, you said it. That's it.
Yeah, is
like,
that a
happened.
thing?
Like,
is that I don't remember ever a movie that it was like
Beetlejuice.
Oh, you guessed my first name. Yeah,
I would say Beetlejuice is the closest thing to that, but still, like but
people know his name. He advertises his name.
Well,
this
he does.
Is like a hidden thing, and the fact that when it's getting written, I'm like, what could that be? And then when they're like, Harold, and I love the way he reacts. How the hell you know that?
I think that might be the funniest joke in the entire movie. The fact that his name is Harold.
I know, it was very funny. And the way they reacted, what? How'd you know that, bitch? I'm like, whoa, he's getting ridiculous. And then from that, whoever like says the name, if you're holding a container, you got to keep him. Like it goes to you.
But wait a second. Why would they know his name if they only met his father?
Well, they've been trapped with him for 30 years. So they met him and they got to talking, I guess. But why would he know that? Why would he be so surprised?
Wait a second. You think they're living their life in a bottle? Like, so like miniaturized
scenario.
Oh my gosh. No. It's like a Sinbad scenario, like the movie Sinbad, when the girl, I don't know if you remember that. Was it the one we saw? She goes into the bottle and she has like a couch in there. She's like stuck in there. Like she couldn't get the genie put her in there. I don't know if it's the same one we saw.
I feel like it was. I don't know. I've seen that one. Whatever you're talking about.
I've seen that one too. So you think it's like a whole room in there when they go in the bottle that they just haven't lived together?
Well, how else did they know his name's Harold? They're not talking to anybody else.
They shouldn't know the name. They're there in like dust form or liquid form. They're not hanging out in there because he turns the green. He turns like the in there.
Yeah.
Whatever. So stupid.
Oh my God, so dumb, dude. But yeah, so that's what happens. They do that. They get them into the it gets into the alcohol, and then Kelli Maroney's like, "I'll take it. I'll take care of it real good." And then movie's over. We get fade to black, and then we get a girl going into an attic at sorority. So what did she really do with it? Bury it. Do something with it.
Throw it in the ocean, like in the middle of the
Yeah.
ocean. She left it where someone could find it.
Yeah, but I do love the end of the movie. I do think that's cool for a movie to do that, to tease another sequel. But it's
Oof.
like, oh my God, the girls are gonna love this punch bowl. Shh, and here,
It's just so dumb. You know what? One of the biggest mysteries I think is the fact that our podcast was double the time of the movie.
double the time. Has it been that long?
I felt like it.
We're at an hour 18, so we did surpass the movie. But so I don't know. Obviously, I know you wouldn't recommend this movie. But how about, we've been talking about it so long, like in the last, it seems like since 2025 is the year of us not even covering a lot of creature movies, but we're bringing creatures up somehow organically every time. What is your Mount Rushmore of the creatures that we talked about we put on a shirt?
Well, I would think Gremlins number one.
Yeah, Gremlins got to be on there.
You know, Gremlins have to be number one, by far. Like, you know, like, and you know, like the talking Gremlin and, you know, Spike or whatever, like they're gonna run the whole show. So,
Yeah.
I would say Gremlins. Then got to be Ghoulies. They got to be Ghoulies.
You got to have Richard Kind on your Mount Rushmore as the cat ghoulie.
By the way, Richard Kind was on Impractical Jokers. He did
Really?
he did a thing with them, yeah. And then Munchie. I'm trying to think of what else we have. Unless I'm missing some.
Well, Critters. I don't know. I feel like
Critters.
didn't really.
I
I guess when they do start to talk a little bit in the second one, they are pretty funny.
Yeah, you know what? I would say, I'm sorry, Munchie's going down. So I'd say Ghoulies. I would say the Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Jack Frost, then Critters, then Munchie, then these guys. And this guy.
That is good. Now, Jack
wait
Frost.
a second. I'm going to change it a little bit. I'm going tomatoes are up there.
Oh, yeah.
The tomato. I mean, listen, that the tomatoes was such a shock movie wise that we have to do another one because I that was such a pleasant surprise in that movie.
Go to France, right? Take over France.
Yeah, but they're not tomatoes in that one. I think they become human, which kind of takes it away from.
Well, we did see Tomato Men in Return.
That is true. So
Revenge, right?
But
wait,
but I would think
Attack, Return, and then Revenge.
No, there's like two others.
No, I know, but I think Revenge is the cartoon.
I think there's like 4 movies and then there's a cartoon. Who knows? We'll get there. If we don't, then it might have to be a bucket list or whatever. The whole pass. So yeah, you know what? You have a decent amount to put on your. Do you put girl gremlin on your shirt or do you put like the talking gremlin? Or do you put tomato gremlin?
She kissed me before we recorded our episode of Gremlins.
I'm saying because you're not going to be able to put all the gremlins, so you got to pick one. I think you might have to. Again, you have tomato gremlin too.
Well, yeah, brainy gremlin has to be there.
Okay, all right.
But lady gremlin, you got to have that. But yeah, man. So now hopefully we're gonna put the creatures aside for a little bit and talk about a sequel that's up there. This is like one of those sequels when you think of. Oh my God, that sequel, that movie's so bad. This is it. Speed 2 Cruise Control. Sandra Bullock, it's famous because even then, I remember hearing that. Even I was like 10, 11, 12-ish, like when this movie came out. I remember like hearing on like Entertainment Tonight that she only did this movie to get Hope Floats made. And the fact that Keanu was signed on. Then there was another movie that came up that he had to do, and there's, you know what? We're just gonna keep the same story. We're gonna bring in Jason. What's his name from Lost Boys? Jason Patrick, and we're gonna do the same story and just pretend that it's somebody different.
I haven't seen the movie in a long time.
Oh, dude.
But I'll tell you 2 things. One, I don't remember Jason Patrick being an action star. So to me, it's a weird pick. Like, I don't know what action movies he's done. I mean, Lost Boys really, was a little different, but and Sandra Bullock wasn't really that big then. And I think this is like, to me, she had a few movies where she was like the annoying character. And I think this is one of them.
In these movies, she's always annoying in the bus movie.
Oh, she was
the bus version of this.
Demolition Man. She was annoying. Or was it Demolition Man?
Yeah.
Or what? Demolition Man. One of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
She so like her first few movies, she was like the annoying girl in the movie. That were just just like side chatter or whatever. But so I don't have high hopes for this movie, even though it's definitely up there compared to these other movies, and I'm sure it's somewhat entertaining. I don't even remember who the bad guy is.
Willem Dafoe.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's nuts.
I was gonna say he's another one that he's like Dennis Hopper. Those are two perfect like crazy guys that play good bad guys that go over the top. Like I feel like William Dafoe always goes over the top too. So okay,
maybe
there's hope then. Maybe there's hope.
And it's on a cruise ship, and for it, I chatted with an actress that I grew up watching and so much, Patrika Darbo. We talked about, man, it's so crazy. Sometimes I talk to these people, their IMDb's don't have everything. Like she was on the one thing that was like the jumping off. She was on Different Strokes. I'm like, oh my God. And she's like, oh yeah, a lot of those like the Jeffersons. And she's mentioning like Good Times. Like she was on those shows and it wasn't on her IMDb. But man, talk about a career. She was on soaps. She was a huge star from those, like when she got on, I think it was 93, 94. But before that, dude, she had so many cool things, even these small roles in like the Burbs, Troop Beverly Hills. But man, she was so cool. I had a great story about being on Johnny Carson. And she was the best, man. Really awesome. So tune in for Patrika's story. She was awesome. And don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast. Follow us on all social media at Sequels Only. And don't forget to check our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, guys.